I probably have already told you this, but to anyone who doesn't know, when I first debuted, I was halfway through my 3rd year of film unit at university. I was studying film, and that was my focus, and I was very keen on like my projects and my essay stuff. But then during the break, the Christmas break between 1st and 2nd semester, I debuted as a member of Nijisanji, and I continued going to lectures, but most of them were online at that point. And to be honest, my focus shifted so much, I wound up dropping out in the end. I was 1 semester away from getting a degree, but I dropped out. I literally could not focus on university anymore. This had taken such an immense priority. And in the end, I think that that was the right decision to make, because let's be honest, if I had been also focusing on a full-time university degree at the same time as one of the most fundamental periods of my life, it would not have been as successful as it was. You know, I don't think I would have boomed and shot up to be the most subscribed in EN. I don't think that I would have been able to work on as many projects. I think that I would have been a bit scatterbrained and quite stressed at the same time. So I'm glad I made that choice in the end. I'm not sure if I'm able to go back and finish the same degree. I'm not sure if I'll be able to just go back and like resume maybe from the beginning of my 3rd year. I'm not sure if that's possible, but I'm thinking that once I have time, you know, years and years from now, if I am ever not streaming anymore, I think my plan will be to not stop streaming. I think that what I want to do eventually, once I've like banged out all of the major projects that I want to do, and once all of my lore is out there in a complete, cohesive, compelling story, or rather that I have told the truth of my life, that I will keep streaming more as like a part-time thing. Like I'll come online to keep in touch with you guys, and I will, you know, play games I fancy playing them, but maybe shift my focus to film, because at the end of the day, that is my dream. That's the thing that I thought about for a while, of like staying here for a good number of years, but it always was on my mind of like, I want to go back to film someday. But every time I thought about like the idea of graduating, it just made me feel so sad. So I think that like maybe just streaming on a lesser schedule once I'm like back to would be nice. But you know, I never really want to leave this behind. It's too big of a part of my life now. And I also want to make sure that you guys know I did that. If I ever was to stream less, that's not going to happen for a very long time, like years and years away. Sorry, I have an ADHD test at the end of May. I hope you get the diagnosis you're looking for. Vindicating. I think that right now all I want to be able to do is to make sure that I am financially stable and that my family are supported, because at this point, I mean, you guys don't need like me to tell you that like I'm definitely in a very privileged position. And so my plan is that I want to use that money to worry. I'm not going anywhere. Even in the instance that I eventually, like I would say years and years and years from now, eventually need to stream, I will still be here in some capacity, and I will be working towards another project that you for. I mean, imagine everyone watching this stream. I mean, you know, super readings are nice, but it's always like something for super come out. It's not as though, again, imagine if everyone here went to go to a film festival to watch something I made. You know, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. A lot more eyes on something that I made that I would ever have thought. Super, are you a Hal Hart? I'm not entirely familiar, but absurd films I really like. I appreciate it all. So, I don't know. I guess the big thing for me now is that it feels like it will be difficult. It's kind of like getting back into drive. I remember I was watching a, it was funny, I was watching this video of Pyrocynical reacting to like dashcam videos, like r/idiots in cars, like people crashing. And he mentioned how he had his driver's license, but never drove because it had been like a couple of years since he got behind the wheel of a car and just knew that he would crash into someone. I very much feel the same way about driving, where I never got my license, but I came very, very close. Like I was driving for a lot during my dad was teaching me how to drive during lockdown. I'd had a lot of lessons with actual driving instructors, but during lockdown, my dad took me out and we drove a lot. So I became pretty damn good at driving, but you know, it was like the whole honking story. Yeah, exactly. And then COVID happened, no driving lessons. The honking one was before COVID. During COVID, my dad helped me keep in practice. But then I wound up going to university, and I sort of lost track of all my practice, wasn't able to do another test, and yeah, it just and then I haven't driven in like 3 or 4 years, and I'm really scared to get back behind the wheel. I kind of feel the same way about film, because I haven't really... It's why I bought my camera. You know, I haven't really done much with it for a long time. I haven't really done much with my camera because obviously it's not exactly something that's easy to incorporate in my main career. So like streaming, it's difficult to incorporate a real camera. You know, it's like, for example, I could just film random things around my home, but I mean, but like, if I was to go out and film something, then obviously some motherfucker online is going to use that and like look at the reflection in a piece of glass, and they're going to see like, oh, he's on this street or whatever it is, and then suddenly I'm in trouble. So if I wanted to use my camera to make something and to show it to you, you know, to justify in my mind why I'm doing, then I would need to show you guys. But if I showed you guys, then there would be a lot of complications. I would have to like travel halfway across the country to safely make a film. And even then, I couldn't be in it. I would have to like point it at someone else, you know, and organizing a script and actors while also streaming every day is really, really hard. So I think that's one of the reasons why I'm really keen on eventually going back to school. I'd like to do a master's, hopefully. There are a lot of really high-end, sort of like very special film schools in the UK that do. I'm also very interested in maybe New York, actually, because I do really like the US, and New York is a really interesting place. I've only been once, and I'd like to go again. So there's a lot of like really great film schools in the US. So maybe doing a master's would be good for me. I just have to think about like, you know, the